All right, it's that time of year again. We're gonna try Miles of Mayhem again. So I got the car all packed up. I added a second bottle, capacity, not spraying more. I added a basket for the tires. And in the last video, the motor was making a hell of a racket. Well, I figured out what that was. Apparently it had spun 3 rod bearings when I primed it first time this year, and it sounded like valve train, because when 3/4 of your rods are knocking, it sounds a little faster paced than a typical rod knock. So I swapped out the crank, swapped in new bearings, got it all good. Been driving it to work all month, probably got like 400 or 500 kilometers on it already. It seems to be good and strong and good. So we're pretty much packed, ready to go. So I'm gonna go get some gas and some breakfast, and we're gonna go make a mile to Rimby. All right, we made it. We're in Rimby. We got teched. We got our goodie bag with our stickers and everything, and it's incredibly wet outside. So today is canceled. No passes, no racing, no testing, no tuning. Hopefully we can get some hits in tomorrow morning, because it's supposed to be like this again, and then we can get on the road and get away from it. All right, so we're in the car for day 1, and we are getting rained out, and we're not even at the track because the pits are mud soup. So even if it wasn't raining, they weren't going to let us race anyway, because they don't want us dragging mud down the track, which is understandable. So we got our sheet, and we are off to Medicine Hat. So the start of this whole event looks like a whole lot of miles with not a lot of mayhem. All right, guys, so we're kind of cruising along, and we're just out of Drumheller, where we took a picture with a dinosaur as our checkpoint picture. I'll put that picture here. I took mine with a little Tyrannosaurus. No, not Tyrannosaurus. Triceratops. Right. It's been a while since I knew my dinosaur. All right. Good morning, everyone. It is day 2 at Medicine Hat Dragway, and again, wet. Very, very, very wet. So, again, rained out, not racing. And we got our itinerary to make it up to Forestberg. Alright guys, so we actually get to do some racing today. And we got all rigged up, and we're lining up the A-class, which is stick shift, and all the real fast guys again. So, but we're pretty much ready to go, and let's go get in the lanes. Because I don't want to turn it on. Dumbass. I thought my fan was on. It's not. Gatorade, please. Thank you. what I think we can do. I want a 9-second average for the week, and that'll be in there. All right, we're gonna head up and make a second pass. Alright, so we're all packed up. I handed in the slip from my first pass because the second pass, I blew up an axle, and here's the picture of it. And then I fixed it, and by the time I was done doing that, the line was just way too long, and now racing's done. So I just handed in that 984. I'm happy with that. That's perfect. So we got our day 3 driving map. So it's already like 5 o'clock. So let's get going and find a hotel in Edmonton, because I'm kind of tired after dealing with that axle, and now I'm a little nervous because I don't have another axle. All right, we are day 4, and we're all set up, ready to go, waiting on A-Class to get called, and hopefully we don't break anything today, unlike yesterday where we snapped that axle. So I aired the tires up a bit to try to not be as sticky, so they don't hop as bad. Basically leaving everything else the same. So we'll wait for our class to get called and then go up, make a hit. Alright, so I was looking into why we popped. It was a nitrous backfire, and we're basically done for today. So I got my map for tomorrow and handed in that crappy 13 whatever time slip, and this is why. This is the nitrous line, and it came into contact with the electrical and sprayed nitrous all over the electrical. So I got to rip into Edmonton and try to get 2 new lines for tomorrow. So luckily it's only like 1 in the afternoon, and I've got like 4.5 hours before that place closes, so should be no problem. So I'm gonna get the car back into road mode and rip up, get new lines, put new lines in, and make sure they're far away from the electrical, because they were clearly arcing, and that was dangerous. If that was the fuel line, we probably would have set the damn car on fire. So I'm definitely going to reroute them and be a little safer. Okay, so I made a quick trip into Edmonton, and the boys at MoPac helped me out. We got a couple of new nitrous fuel and nitrous lines, so we are good to race tomorrow. So now we got to rip back to the track so we can start our map from the right spot. So looks like we'll probably still be at the hotel by about 6. So we got about 45 minutes back to the track, and then I think it's 250k, so about 2.5 hours from the track to our hotels. So we're going, and we're not out yet. We're gonna make day 5. I'm gonna finish this thing. I'm so happy. All right, so we are day 5 back in Rimby, and it's raining, but they're saying we're racing, so we're gonna try our best to actually get some stuff down. Hopefully the rain's supposed to clear up right away here and be decent the rest of the day. So I'm gonna switch the car over to make a pass, and all I have to do is break the beams, and I've completed the drive and the event, and that's pretty awesome. Naturally aspirated. I was spinning under nitrous. Alright, so we're home, back in the yard, and we've successfully completed Miles of Mayhem 2025. And the car drove home perfectly fine last night. On that second pass after I got to the pits, I found a bunch of coolant all on the inside of the wheel well. So I wiped it all up, and then I drove it home, and it's still wiped. There's no evidence of anything. So I don't know where that coolant came from on that second pass, but that's something new. It seems like every time I made a pass, I could make a first pass, And then on the second pass, something would go wrong. Except for Edmonton when I melted down that nitrous line on the first pass, which also sucks because my car likes that track and I probably could have done a really good time there. So I'm a little upset about that one, but it is what it is. All in all, I'm happy to have completed the vent. It was great. Gonna do some maintenance and oil change and whatever, make sure the car is all good. Also, when I was leaving the pits yesterday, I closed my bottle and I purged off what was in the line. And sometimes after a while, the needle will just slightly go up a little bit over time as temperatures change and whatever. There's still a little bit of pressure in the line. So I was hanging out with some friends in the pits before I left, and I come back into the car and I go to leave and I noticed that on the gauge and I was like, oh, okay, well. So I flipped the switch and I pushed the button and nothing happened. So I need to figure out what what's up with my nitrous purge solenoid. It doesn't seem to want to be purging. It won't click, it doesn't make a noise. I'm almost wondering if when the nitrous line arced out on the positive, it didn't send some current down through into it and fry it, and I might need to buy a new one, and that'll suck because they're a couple $100. But whatever, it is what it is. And now I got lines that are longer and they'll go over top and they'll never get anywhere near that electrical again. That was very scary. So anyway, I'm going to leave it here, and we were successful as far as I'm concerned. And we'll see you in the next video.